Edgar informed Alessandra of what time it was. Alessandra and Edgar went their separate ways. Edgar left to prepare for dinner, while Alessandra took the kittens to have their meal. She purposely waited until she saw Edgar leave the room, and then called Sally to help her get dressed.
Miss Potter seems to match you well, Duchess. You should keep her close by when you attend the ball. Thanks to her job, she knows the personality of a lot of young women. You can make a judgment of them yourself, but it would be useful to have a bit of information about them in case they try to use you,
said Sally. I don't expect to be approached by too many people with good intentions for my first appearance in public. There will be people keeping a distance or approaching me to make sense of my marriage. My expectations are low for finding a friend at the ball. I'm fine with you and getting to know Aaron.
I am your friend?
Sally's hand stopped in the middle of brushing Alessandra's hair. She never thought of their relationship like this. I know you're my personal maid, but we've spent so many hours together these last 2 days. We've talked about many things, and I see a friendship forming, just as I see one forming with Aaron. If it makes you uncomfortable to hear this, I won't bring it up again, Alessandra said, as she didn't want to force Sally to be more than her maid.
It's not that, Duchess. I am just surprised to hear you would want a friendship with me. I thought it would have taken you longer to trust me since you know Katrina wanted me to report on you.
Just like I do not wish to have anything more to do with Katrina and Kate, I can tell you want to be the same. Plus, you have been warned. I'm sure you don't want to feel the consequences of betraying the trust Edgar and I are giving you. I've spent a lot of time around fake smiles, Sally. I'm able to tell who is pretending in my face better than you think. I learned the difference in smiles quickly by watching my father. Alessandra spoke with sadness evident in her voice. When she was younger, Alessandra was curious about the smile her father often showed, because it never felt warm. Eventually, she paid attention to the smile her father showed her and compared it to the one he showed to Katrina and Kate, or even his guests. Once she realized it was not the same, she started to read the smiles of everyone else around her. She only saw a genuine smile shown to her when she spoke with Mario.
Trust me, Duchess. I know not to underestimate what you can do. What makes my job exciting is waiting to see how others react when you prove everything they think they know about you to be wrong. Especially Edgar's mother. Soon, she'll be apologizing for not accepting you right away.
Sally pumped her right fist in the air to cheer Alessandra on. I don't know about that one. Alessandra frowned, as it seemed impossible to make Priscilla like her anytime soon. I don't know how I can make her like me when I don't fit the image of a daughter-in-law she has always envisioned. Even if I take off my mask and tell her the story behind my scars, she would not like me either way.
You've shown her enough kindness the first time the two of you met. Going forward, you should simply ignore her, unless she's mature enough to have a civil conversation with you. If the Duke is not bothered to be close to his mother, then don't go out of your way to make her like you. You wouldn't be the first woman to have problems with her mother-in-law. Some mothers are too controlling of their sons' lives.
Edgar? The bedroom door flew open, revealing a man dressed in shabby clothes. Sally moved to stand in front of Alessandra to protect her from who she believed was a beggar.
Do not step foot in this room. Are you not aware of where you have intruded? Leave at once.
Where is Edgar? Why has he been avoiding the letters I've sent? The stranger took a step into the bedroom. Stop! Alessandra exclaimed, standing up to deal with the stranger. She hoped Edgar, or anyone else, heard the man loudly calling Edgar's name and that they would be here soon. She only needed to stall long enough for someone to help them. She contemplated screaming, but but was afraid of what it might prompt the stranger to do. State your name and reason for coming into this house.
It is you!
The man pointed at Alessandra. He pulled a hood from over his head, revealing his shoulder-length, messy brown hair and his striking green eyes.
You are the one who waltzed into his life and messed with my plans.
Contrary to his shabby clothes, which were dirty and carried holes, Alessandra found that his skin was exceptionally clean. To confirm something, she looked at his hands and found his hands to look smooth, as if he had never done any labor. Who are you? Alessandra asked.
You don't know me?
The stranger pointed at his face, surprised none of the two women knew who he was.
I am the man you have angered, daughter of the Baron. What gave you the right to mess with my plans? Have you truly never seen me before?
He went back to his previous question since he found it unbelievable. Alessandra shook her head. No, but I know you must be someone important. You should have placed mud on your skin if you wish to be disguised as a beggar.
How about if I turn left?
He turned to the left to show his side profile.
How about right? What the fuck are you doing in my home?
Edgar appeared in the doorway and reached out his right hand to grab and place the stranger in a chokehold.
Have you gone insane to enter my bedroom when my wife is here with just her maid? Tell me why I shouldn't kill you right now. Because I am your king. Edgar, I'm choking.
King Tobias Castro patted Edgar's arm to be released. The king? Alessandra exclaimed in complete disbelief. She was in the presence of the king, and that Edgar was casually choking him. King, was the last thing Alessandra heard from Sally's mouth before her body started to fall to the floor. Sally fainted. Alessandra bent down to check on the state of Sally. Edgar, please release the king. There has to be some sort of consequence for you choking him.
I am free to do whatever I want to someone who trespasses on my property and enters my bedroom where my wife is alone. Isn't that right, Tobias?
Edgar playfully asked, but when Tobias started waving his arms around like a crazed man, Edgar released him.
You're no fun. Damn it, Edgar, you could have killed me.
Tobias touched his throat and took breaths as the pain subsided.
Do you know the chaos you would have caused? I don't have an heir yet. I wasn't expecting your wife to be inside of here. That is why you knock on the door before you enter any room. Furthermore, what are you doing at my house? You should be back in the palace where it is safe. Go. How rude. The king comes to pay you a visit and you aren't grateful? Why are we friends, Edgar?
Tobias paused to think of the reason they became friends.
Judging from your appearance, you snuck out of the palace again. Return now before someone realizes you're gone and it causes a panic. I am sure the queen must be missing your presence. Go away,
said Edgar.
Actually, she isn't. She told me she wanted time to herself to relax. Fine by me. I had bigger issues to deal with, like the fact that you got married behind my back, Edgar. One day you were telling me you'd never get married, and the next, you got married in the middle of the night. Who does that? I let you know when I was getting married. The entire kingdom knew when you were getting married, you idiot. It's a publicized process. You've confirmed that I have gotten married, and now you can leave before I throw you out after the count of 3. 1.
Edgar began to count.
I'm not leaving here until you tell me why you suddenly got married and why she was your choice. No offense.
Tobias gave Alessandra an apologetic look.
Edgar, we should talk about this in private. Where did you put the alcohol I sent you from the palace? Alfred should know.
Tobias proceeded to leave the bedroom to search for Alfred. Is he truly the king? Alessandra asked Edgar while she fanned Sally. The king was nothing like she imagined.
Unfortunately, he is. I am the only person who has to deal with this ridiculous side of him. Edgar sighed, mentally preparing himself to deal with Tobias. He is more like a king when he is around others. So, you do know what it is like to be in my position. Interesting, said Alessandra. What a smart little mouth you have. I'm going to keep an eye on him before he does something stupid. It's a shame I won't be around to see her face when she realizes how she spoke to the king. She's more entertaining than I thought. Do miss me while I am gone, Alessandra. We should continue where we left off this morning when I return. Edgar teased Alessandra, then left the room to find his fool of a friend. As if, Alessandra shook her head. She mentally planned to stay as far away from him as possible. Sally, are you all right? The king has left. Sally? Sally placed her hand on her spinning head as her eyes slowly opened.
Was I really in the presence of the king, Duchess?
Yes.
Why didn't I realize who he was right away? I've seen his portraits many times. Oh, I can't believe I passed out in front of the Duke and the king.
Sally's eyes began to water.
Just kill me, Duchess. I'll never be able to forget this moment.
I don't think the king noticed, if it makes you feel any better. He was more interested in getting Edgar to release him. We shouldn't consider the dramatic conclusion of you dying just yet. Here, let me help you to your feet. Alessandra stood up first and offered her hand to help Sally up. We should inspect your head for any bruises. I'm sorry I was unable to catch you. I wasn't expecting anyone to faint.
Me neither. I should have expected someone as grand as the king to visit the Duke. Everyone knows how close the two of them are. It's already so hard for me to be in the presence of the Duke, and now we have the king here. Forgive me if I pass out again, Duchess. Thank you.
She thanked Alessandra for helping her up. They are certainly close if Edgar can practically choke the king and they both move on from it quickly. I wonder how often the king sneaks in here.
Should we leave the Duke unsupervised with the king?
Sally wondered out loud. Not when the king is insistent on staying while Edgar wants him to go. But surely Edgar would not try harming the king again. At least, I don't think he would. Alessandra muttered. I have no idea what their friendship is like, but the king does not seem worried. They'll be fine. I am more concerned about your fall. I'll pour you some water. Alessandra left Sally's side to pour out water from a jug a maid had brought in when Alessandra was getting dressed. Just as she was about to pour water into the cup, Tobias entered the bedroom once again, startling both Alessandra and Sally.
Your Highness.
Sally abruptly bowed her head lower than she needed to. Your husband plans to send me away before I can attend dinner and get to know you. I want to know the truth behind why the two of you suddenly got married. Am I the only one trying to put together why Edgar would marry the daughter of a man he hated? For goodness sake, he hated that girl. What was her name? Tobias tried to think of the name the Baron kept mentioning whenever they were around each other. Kate? Yes, her. Why on earth would he marry you and become related to the Barretts? I sent Edgar there to annoy him. And now I am to believe he just happened to fall in love with you when he went there? And now he's married? Listen, I have the power to help you get away from Edgar if he forced you into this. Don't let him scare you. Tobias pointed over his shoulder to where Edgar stood with folded arms. He did not force me into anything, Your Highness. I also wanted to marry Edgar after seeing him that night. I suppose I should thank you. Alessandra now realized that she was able to get away thanks to the king. If the king had not sent Edgar to her father's home as a joke, he would not have attended the party and they would not have met to talk about the contract. Thank you, Alessandra said to Tobias. For once, she was grateful for someone's meddling. Tobias smacked his face, angry with himself for being the one responsible for Edgar and Alessandra's meeting.
You have always said I should get married, and now that I am, you are complaining, Tobias. A king who is indecisive is concerning. Should I bring this up to your court? Edgar asked. Certainly not. I wanted you to get married, but I wasn't expecting you to marry a Barrett, Edgar. I have a feeling you did this to annoy me. Tobias rubbed his forehead as he processed his thoughts. We cannot turn back time, so I can only judge you and see if you are worthy of my friend, Alessandra. Let's start over. There is nothing for you to judge, Tobias. I do not care what your opinion of her is, as it will not change the fact that we are married. Tobias ignored Edgar's words and held out his hand midair for Alessandra to shake. My name is Tobias Castro, the current king of this land and friend of your husband. It's nice to meet you.
Alessandra Collins, wife of your friend. Do I need to curtsy, Your Highness?
Alessandra had never been in the presence of royalty to know if she was meant to curtsy now or if she had missed the chance when she learned he was the king. There is no one watching. Therefore, you do not need to show such etiquette, but you should learn how to greet royalty for the next time we meet. And please, study my face well so that you remember what the king looks like. I am still baffled. You do not know what your king looks like. Do you not read the paper or walk outside to see statues made for me? Tobias was stuck on Alessandra, thinking he was a stranger.
No, Your Highness. I apologize for not knowing who you were. Next time, I will most definitely recognize you, Your Highness.
Alessandra promised. When I am in Edgar's home, I prefer to be called Tobias rather than Your Highness so many times. I hear Your Highness every step in the palace, and sometimes I forget my own name. I come here to be different, if you have not noticed it yet, Tobias said, referring to his clothes. Edgar's home rarely had guests, which meant there wasn't anyone to see Tobias being free to behave as he wanted. It was also a plus for Tobias that Edgar never spoke about the things he witnessed Tobias doing. Edgar would simply walk away or try tossing him out. Tobias liked it when he didn't need to wear his heavy gold crown or the clothes that made his skin itch. Tobias did not enjoy the increasing number of people he had to meet daily and listen to their foolish ideas that never benefited the kingdom. He was losing his true personality because he sat on the throne, following the rules laid out for how a king should be.
Do you not enjoy being king?
Alessandra spoke up. She would understand if he did not, as it was so much responsibility and he was expected to be perfect. One wrong decision from Tobias could affect the entire kingdom. She never wanted to know what such a weight on his shoulders felt like.
I can't think of that when I am Duchess,
she realized. I would never give up this responsibility I had planned for me the moment I was born, but there are times when I wish to just be a regular person. I've just remembered why I'm friends with Edgar. He has always treated me as Tobias and not King Castro. I come here to be hurt by him every once in a while.
So, you enjoy Edgar choking you?
Alessandra didn't know how to handle this. She hoped she had interpreted his words wrong. I am not into whatever it is you are imagining, Alessandra. Aren't you concerned about what is on her mind, Edgar? Tobias looked back at Edgar, only to find him smiling. I simply give your husband a pass because he treats me like two regular buds hanging out. Now, what are we having for dinner? Tobias rubbed his hands together, ready to eat something. You are not staying for dinner, Tobias. Return home and make amends with the queen for whatever you did to piss her off. Now is not the proper time to get to know my wife, when it is late and she is hungry. I will visit the palace with her soon if you leave now, Edgar added when Tobias did not move. The ball does not count. The two of you must attend the ball tomorrow night, and before you say anything, it was not me who put together this ball, Edgar. It was the queen. Something about her friends still looking for husbands, so She wanted to have all the wealthy families in one room to help everyone find a partner. If that's the case, why would I attend when I am already married? Do not get your hopes up.
I want to go. Alessandra jumped into the conversation before Edgar could tell Tobias he was not going. Erin has already picked out a dress for me, and she will bring it tomorrow. Be my first time in the palace and my first ball. Can't we go? No, I am going. Alessandra changed her words, as she was not going to wait on Edgar's approval for something she was invited to. Edgar stared at Alessandra, waiting to see if she would budge. The ball would be more annoying than fun.
Fine.
He sighed, giving in to what she wanted.
The both of us will be there, only if there is a private section for the two of us. You seriously changed your mind? This quickly?
Tobias was flabbergasted by how quickly Edgar had changed his mind now that his wife wanted to go. It took Tobias a week to convince Edgar to visit Desmond's home, but Alessandra was able to convince her antisocial husband to come to the ball in less than a minute.
This heartless bastard has fallen in love,
he thought. Seeing this, Tobias was no longer upset by the fact Edgar had gotten married to a Barrett behind his back. Instead, he planned to use Alessandra to make Edgar do whatever he wanted.
Alessandra, if there is ever anything you need or anything you wish to talk about, please do not hesitate to visit me in the palace. I will alert the guards to always let you in, friend.
He smiled. Alessandra didn't like the smile Tobias was showing her. He didn't seem like a bad person, but she had the feeling she was about to get used to get to Edgar. She never wanted to be used as a tool to control Edgar, even if the king was being playful. She returned the smile, but she was never going to visit the palace unless she was going with Edgar.
So, about dinner.
I'm sorry, Tobias, but Edgar and I had plans to eat inside of our room and spend time together. As Edgar suggested, we can meet at a more appropriate time, said Alessandra. Edgar wanted the king to leave for some reason, and unlike what she did earlier by having his mother stay, she was going to be on his side and send the guest away. The corner of Edgar's lips curled as Alessandra took him by surprise. He didn't think she would be so bold in joining in to chase away the king.
You heard her. Run along back to the palace, Tobias.